What is up, you guys? It's the Fallout What If here, and today I thought, hey, might as well do what if Deku was the Slayer. Now, some of you guys may have been thinking, why is he not called the Goblin Slayer? Well, because there's no freaking goblins here, people. He is a Slayer. He will slay anything that is evil. I didn't call him the Evil Slayer because Evil Slayer sounds weird, or the Bad Slayer, or the Villain Slayer. It doesn't have just the Slayer itself. And I'm thinking about doing another new video. Probably thinking about doing what if Deku was the dragon god itself. The manifestation of any kind of dragon that he can possibly want to be. Even being a freaking, how do I say it? A dragon from Fairy Tail. Or like the Blue Eyes White Dragon from Yu-Gi-Oh! You know, probably be a dragon, what's called Dragonborn from freaking Skyrim. How do I say? Sheesh. What's it called? You know, being that, I just gotta search up every dragon thing, and what else? Oh yeah, shout out to Last of Us 21. What's called, go see his videos, because I think me and him talked like the last time we were on how you say it, PlayStation Live, or me and him were talking. He's going, as far as I know, unless his plans have changed, you know, he's going to be probably back on again. You know, because I enjoy his company and the dirty jokes, and probably most of the fact that, I don't know, he just seems like a good guy, you know? Not giving you guys any ideas, but you know what? Shout out to him, alright? Shout out to XO Customs. And shout out to some of the people on the freaking, what's it called, thing. Patrick Thornhill, Jacob Augustine, how you say it? Adrian. Let's see. Other people, I just forgot your names, alright? It's sometimes Chloe, Tina Valdez. Who else? Hold on, give me a second. Dr. Robotic Neo. Hold on, give me a second here. Let's see. Brett Cross. Who else? There's a lot more I want to say, but the fact that I keep forgetting, and, you know, I'm not that smart, just good enough to at least make a pleasant what if. Now, anyway, you guys, this is what happens. Deku, how you say it, passed and all that stuff. Freaking, who did I just, oh, sheesh, hold on. Alright, so the whole freaking, UA exam already passed. Let's see. I'm going to skip the freaking, how do I say it? The freaking, what would it be called again? The freaking, dang it, you know, the initial test, you know, the test where all of them have to throw the ball up in the air and all that stuff. I'm skipping that due to the fact that, how you say it, it's not really important. I never actually found it important, but I know you guys like the apprehension test. There we go, that's the name. Now, what does happen is this. Deku's body is covered in burns, scars, stab wounds, how do I say it, gunshots. Why? Well, because Deku's armor isn't always that good. And due to the fact that sometimes he might burn himself, like if he has metal, if he's burning the metal in his on his armor, and he touches it, or the metal touches his back or his freaking legs or anything like that, yeah, it will sear his how you say it, his skin. But Deku doesn't actually mind as much. Todoroki seeing this, he's like, oh wow, oh wow, and I thought I have child problems here. You know what? Let me give you my crown. Now, anyway, that all happens. Everybody's scared. Mineta's, you know, peeing his pants. Kirishima's like, whoa, this guy has done a lot of workout. But Deku's specialty is much more of stealth. He's a stealthy person. That's his thing. He doesn't want to kill people just like screaming out loud. That'll draw attention. But that doesn't mean nothing. The other things that he does is bad, like two-handed attacks, pretty much good with his sword. One-handed attacks with his knife, you know, a bow. It's some of the stuff is kind of like from Skyrim, all right? Now, anyway, Deku, let's just say Deku and how you say it? Let's say freaking the Invisible Girl, Hagakure. That one versus freaking Bakugo and Kirishima. I mean Bakugo and Ida. Now, here's the thing that I forgot to mention, and I should have said this already. Bakugo does feel bad for him, all right? He does feel bad for him. Don't get me wrong, he's still a jerk. But even though I said that something else, he does kind of sometimes feel bad for him. It's like you lost your mom and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm not going to always pick on you, but don't think it's going to just stop. Deku doesn't care about him, only a little bit, because he shows him that kind of gratitude. Now, Deku is just talking to her and says, "So, what are your special talents besides stealth?" And she says, "Oh, I pick flowers. You know, I like making jokes." And Deku says, "Well, that doesn't work right now. The only person who I know who can make jokes, probably Miss Joke." And she says, "The hero?" And he says, "Yes, the hero." Now, this probably gets Deku to talk to her even more. And how you say it, Toru says, or Hagakure says, "So why do you wear the armor? And why is it black?" Because he's wearing a blackish armor right now. Hold on, give me a second here. Let's say his armor is like this right here. It's a blacker model. It's much more. It has much more like hero items and stuff. Healing medicine, freaking stamina regeneration thing. You know, basic stuff. But as we know, in the nighttime where there's villains and basically corrupted heroes, Deku wears the Goblin Slayer outfit. Now, he says, well, how would I say this? You could probably sneak up to them, right? And she's all like, but, yeah, I can, but you can see me, right? And Deku says, "Yes, I do." And he looks at her opie. She's all like, "Wait, what are you looking at?" And Deku's all like, "Your hair." And he's basically lying. He's all like, "Your hair, it looks nice." Why? Well, because he can also see in a way where invisible people don't look invisible to him. It's kind of like that. He has that kind of like OP, like fire sensing, or how you say heat, thermal heat vision. So what happens is this. He goes and sets up a trap, which basically trips Bakugo. Deku just running at him, hitting him, and throwing a freaking sleeping powder on his freaking face. Bakugo coughing up and basically going to sleep. Now, he ties him up and says, "All right, now you got to make noise over there on that spot, and the moment you do, I'll sneak up behind him, all right?" And Toru says, "Wait a minute, why would you do it?" "Well, she says, "Why wouldn't you do it?" And Deku says, "Well, here's the thing. He's going to be trying to look for an invisible girl that's in front of him, which will be hard. He will not have any time to, how would I say this, look at me." And she's all like, "Wow, you're pretty smart." And Deku's like, yeah, thanks." Now, that all happens. Deku just runs up, sneaks up behind him, and he basically smashes his head in with a freaking, a pipe. Not like crushing his skull, but just, bonking him in the head so hard that the vibrations cause him to lose, his vision, giving him a headache, and Deku just trips him up and ties him up. And basically they win. Now, for the heroes versus villains exam, or how you say, the USJ attack. Whew. How you say, what's her face? Toru is sitting in front, next to him. And Deku doesn't actually mind her, besides all the other girls. Because Momo does have a thing and says, well, Deku, you basically passed, but that doesn't mean you should have acted recklessly. You could have hurt those two. And Deku says, yes, but if they were to get the upper hand on us, they wouldn't care at all. Villains don't care about our feelings. All they care about is killing, stealing, and he doesn't talk at all. Why? Because he's remembering his past. This is when he gets a little mad. And his eye, I'm going to put one red eye because you guys love the one red eye, the two red eyes. All right, okay, I'll listen to you guys and say no two red eyes. It's only one red eye. Now, Deku's eye is starting to glow, and Toru just says, yeah. You probably don't want to talk about it, right, Deku? And he's like, I prefer it that way. Sorry that I lost my temper. And basically, she's acting like the freaking priestess and being super nice and cutesy and all that stuff. And she says, and he says, anyway, villains are bad at times because of things that happen to them. But most times than not, there's going to be a villain who would do bad things to us just because. Now, Deku just says, alright, let's just go. Gets off the bus, and Toru feels kind of bad for him. Now, I forgot who I was going to give one for all to, and I do believe it's freaking... Give me a second here. Okay, I do not know who I gave one for all to, even though we probably, talked about this the whole time. But let's just say it's Mirio. It's like either that or probably Bakugo or Kirishima, somebody. But Mirio's just probably, Mirio. So anyway, what happens is this. Villains attack. Deku sees that he's teleported and sees all these people. Now, Deku sees all of them and basically has a little mechanism in his freaking arm, which is basically a little harpoon. Him shooting it like Spider-Man style and basically hitting one of the guys in the head. He gets it back towards him, and a fish is trying to get his leg, but him swimming upside down, grabbing him, choking him out. Now, you guys are probably thinking, but wait a minute, he's not that strong. Yes, he is. He's trained himself once again to a point where he's strong as an adult, or he's strong as an adult. Or probably, let's say he's as strong as probably Endeavor now, 50% Endeavor. Not his quirk, just by physical strength. And not only that, with his hot hands, or with his fire, or with his heat type quirk, he's basically just burning the freaking, not the ocean, the freaking, how do I say this? He's just burning stuff, alright? Burning the water, boiling it. And all the fish are just feeling so dehydrated, yet they're wet at the same time. Freaking Suyu sees this and says, oh, crap, it's getting kind of hot in here, and I can't be in heat for so long. And Deku's like, oh, crap. Because he basically just climbed up after all that fighting. And he's like, okay, we just gotta go to shore then. You two jump, I'll swim. I'm like, but you're gonna get wet again. And Deku's like, I literally have a heat quirk. There's no way that I'm going to just automatically be wet the whole time. And Monetta's like, oh yeah, good choice. And anyway, all that happens. Now, Deku is just swimming and swimming and swimming, and then he sees Suyu freaking going to get touched. Deku immediately just grabs his freaking harpoon gun and shoots it at Shigaraki's hand. Now, Shigaraki sees this and he's like, who the hell did this? It was that brat. Nomu, kill him. And Nomu's in the ocean or in the water. He can't swim as good, but he basically has to try to get out for some way. And Deku just gets out of the water and says, alright, I bought myself at least a good 2 minutes. Now, who the hell are you guys? And Shigaraki's like, we're nobody that's of concern to you. But you shouldn't have come here, kid. Not a wise move to be in UA. And Deku's eye is basically glowing red and says, yeah, that doesn't matter to me. All that matters is killing you guys. And Shigaraki's like, oh, wait a minute. Now I see. Oh, there's no mistaking it, that red eye of yours. Yet the costume's a little different. Are you known as the Slayer? And Deku's like, so my reputation precedes me. And Mineta and Sue are not knowing what this is. And Deku's like, you two have no need to worry about this. I have to deal with this, man. And this is when the Nobu's right behind him, and he just goes down. He just basically dodges the attack that was going to happen. Deku running at the freaking, running at Shigaraki. This is when the Nobu just does like a leap as fast as he can, and Deku just ducks once again. The freaking Nobu tackling him, yet not tackling him at all. He grabs him and just basically gets in the way of whatever he just gets hit with. And Deku's like, alright, you two have to go over there on the other side. I'll deal with them. And Mineta says, but they're so strong. And Deku just says, well, then you must help me then. And he's all like, wait, what do I do? And Deku says, well, you got sticky hair, don't you? And Mineta's like, yeah. Well, how do you catch a, how do you catch a fly? And freaking Sue's like, with vinegar and honey? And he's like, no, with sticky materials. In America, they made this thing, which can trap flies in an instant. But anyway, Mineta, throw some sticky balls on the floor. And make sure they're all around the floor where those two are at. And Mineta's like, he's all, freaking Deku's all like, well, what are you waiting for? Hop to it. And Mineta's like, oh, okay. Just throwing all the balls that he can. The Nomu charges at Deku, but falls and trips on a bunch of sticky balls. Now, this is when Deku's like, well, this was easy. And he basically shoots the freaking harpoon gun, or the thing that he has on his... Let's say it looks like the knife used in Assassin's Creed, and that happens. Now, Deku does that, basically killing the Nomu, and Shigaraki's like, wait, what? What just happened? And Deku's like, well, I just killed her Nomu. Now it's time to kill you. And this is when he basically charges at freaking Shigaraki, grabbing some freaking sand, and heating it up, throwing it at Shigaraki, and basically there's little glass shards in there. Because if you guys don't know, absolute hot mixes it with sand, and basically you got yourself glass, or glass shards. Throwing some ninja stars to blind Shigaraki, at the same time, the freaking, how do I say, glass shards are hitting some of Shigaraki's skin. He's like, ow, ow, and basically crying like a baby. Freaking, what's his face? Who is he again? Freaking Kurogiri just says, Shigaraki, are you okay? And freaking Shigaraki's like, no, I'm not okay. He just basically threw glass at me. What kind of a monster throws glass at me? You know, he's acting like a child. This is what Deku says. Alright. And he says, alright. And then grabs freaking glass, or grabs the sand, a bigger pile of sand, throwing freaking glass shards all over the place, basically like Gaia in Baki, making a sand glass storm and hitting freaking Shigaraki and Kurogiri. This time Kurogiri freaking teleporting Shigaraki and himself to the freaking, how you say it, base of operations. Deku is just running around now, finishing off, and when I mean finishing off, I mean killing them in silence. While they're not looking, and yeah, basically the heroes come. Freaking Toru's running to Deku and just hugging him and says, Deku, you're alright. And Deku's like, yeah, I'm alright. There's no need to worry about me. And she's like, you idiot. Didn't you think that I was probably going to worry about you? And he's all like, well, I don't know, I guess. And this is when freaking, how you say it, he tells Deku, or she tells Deku, well, you still are okay, so that's a good thing. And Deku just says, well, anyway, it's time for us to go. And she says, wait, go where? Well, we need to go get some rest. And that's all that happens. And the freaking cops do interrogate Deku, but Deku says it was all in self-defense. And All Might is like, oh, jeez. He's not mad at this point. He's just like, really? You have to kill again? And the government actually is on Deku's side. It's like, he's not technically wrong at this one, but it's like he's defending himself with this quirk. Not even with this quirk. He just basically stabbed all them. Wait a minute. Why does this kid have a sword to begin with? Why does he have a sword? Why does he have armor on? This does not look appropriate, people. And Deku's like, the sword is so that way I can slash through my enemies if they come too close to me. The armor is for protection, and basically my quirk is for killing all of them. And they just hear this, and they're like, oh, wow, so this kid really does kill. And Deku's like, yes, I do. Now, I should not have to worry about this right now. Freaking, they're all like, freaking, All Might's like, but you, Nez is like, calm down, All Might. Besides, protecting the students was much more important than a bunch of dead villains. Look at 13 right now. She's on the brink of death. And Aizawa here, oh jeez, I do not want to mention him. Because Aizawa still does get hurt. Just not as much because freaking the whole Shigaraki got hurt much more faster. And yeah, basically that all happens. Now, I'm going to leave it off here. Because I gotta get my sleep because I'm going to do what if Deku was in the freaking, how you say it? What if Deku was the cosmic Ghost Rider in the Ruby universe? Tell all your friends, tell everybody you know, tell your pastors, your uncles, your mothers, your fathers, your sisters, your brothers, your aunts, your hold on, sheesh. And like I always say, like, comment, and do subscribe to the channel here, people. This has been the Fallout Winifred here. Bye.